Hello everyone, welcome back to the VGCeriii Draft League. This is going to be my week 2 game this week. We are playing against the Granite Cave Girliepops. Up here in the upper right, their team is Sneasler, Milotic, Megazard X, Vanillix, Corviknight, Mega Scovillain, Lycanroc, Dusk, Heliolisk, Weirdeer, and Absol. And as I went over last week, my team is Mega Gengar, Dragonite, Alolan Ninetales, Mega Skarmory, Armarouge, Pikachu, Quaquaval, Tauros, Scovillain, and Whimsicott. This week, I'm particularly scared of the Corviknight because I don't really have that many good ways to hit it. I know I have Scovillain and Armarouge, but Armarouge can only go so far, and Scovillain doesn't really want to come this week, I don't think. I'm not bringing it, spoiler warning. We're going to get into the team shortly. And I'm also slightly worried about the Milotic, because Milotic, similarly, I don't have that many good things to hit it with. So I tried to go for some game plans that focus more on getting rid of Corviknight and Milotic. Charizard is still really scary damage. I think that's going to be their mega of choice this week. But we could be surprised and we could see Scovillain. I just don't think that Scovillain is going to be super important into my team. We will also see probably Sneasler. Sneasler is their most expensive Pokemon, and I would be shocked if we didn't see it, considering that Sneasler is really good into Alolan Ninetales typically, as well as Whimsicott. I think that Sneasler is going to be critical for them taking care of my primary speed control options. So let's go into the team. I will close that. There we go. Alright, so I guess we can start with the elephant in the room. We've got Pikachu. So this Pikachu is pretty much just here to be annoying. We have Fake Out on it because I don't really have another Fake Out on my team. I think Fake Out is going to be pretty important for dealing with their options and kind of slowing down their game plans. I've got Brick Break to remove Aurora Veil, should their Vanillix decide to go for Aurora Veil, but otherwise it's not super important because this Pokemon is all about clicking Volt Tackle. Since I don't expect to see Mega Scovillain this week, I did decide to just go with a physical Pikachu to try to take care of that Milotic as soon as possible. With the Light Ball, this thing hits ridiculously hard. As long as I can get speed control for it, it's going to be insane. Hopefully we can actually get this thing to pop off. We have Cuddles the Dragonite. This Dragonite, I just went to the Nature Bump on attack. Nothing super crazy. It does live a Blizzard from Vanillix, but I think it does that without bulk anyways, since it has multi-scale. And I have Dragon Claw, Fire Punch, and Extreme Speed. Fire Punch is here just because I needed to have a way to hit the Corviknight and the Vanillix. The Dragon Claw here, I just want the best damage possible into Megazard X, but also it's just good general damage, and Extreme Speed will help me out whenever I find out where their Sash is. I could have dropped Protect this week, I think, but I do just want to keep Protect because they don't really have options that have Encore, and a lot of their team is going to be potentially faster than mine this week without Whimsicott, so I want to be able to deal with that, deal with things being faster and kind of split up aggro a little bit. We have our Armarouge this week. Armarouge, it's going to be holding the Charcoal. And it's just here for fire damage. I put Energy Ball on here for Milotic, and I put Wide Guard on just so I have an option to block Blizzards. And potentially Earthquakes or whatever else, random spread moves that they might be throwing on the team. Block Rock Slides from Lycanroc. Just anything like that. Psychic, obviously, is just to have a button to click into Sneasler that's a guaranteed one-shot. Most of their team is not super susceptible to Psychic damage. In particular, they have the Absol, Weirdeer, and Corviknight that are all resistant or immune And other things I feel like I would rather be clicking fire damage into. We are Flash Fire. Flash Fire is only useful into Zard and Scovillain, but I think it's somewhat helpful to be able to take those attacks, just so that I can protect my Ninetales, who is Choice Scarfed this week. We are running Scarf Ninetales so that I can be faster than Sneasler. We're running Extra Sensory so that I can click Extra Sensory into Sneasler. We are running Icy Wind as well. Icy Wind is going to be a little scary because they do have Corviknight and they have Milotic. So it's probably not going to get clicked that often, but I think it is going to be critically important to help deal with Lycanroc and deal with Charizard. We are 1 point faster than Adamant Base 102s, which isn't super important, but we're also 1 point, or we're also speed tying with my Gengar, I believe. Yes, we are speed tying with my Gengar. But that's fine, because I just want to be the fastest thing available. And being at 155 also guarantees that I'm going to outspeed Charizard up to base 100, and outspeed anything that that they think is going to creep their base 100 Adamant Charizard. I don't expect them to be jolly, because I think they'll want to have the damage output. And a lot of my team is it's not terribly bulky, but I'm running a lot of bulk on my Pokemon this week. Just in general. I say that going into this Whimsicott here. Freeze Dry is just there as a way to hit Milotic. It doesn't need to do anything else, because most of the time I'm just going to be clicking Blizzard. Scarf Blizzard is ridiculous. Hopefully I can pick up some freezes, do a fairly reasonable amount of damage to their entire team, just clicking Blizzard over and over and over again. This Whimsicott is our Focus Sashmon this week. We are running Fake Tears because with a -2, Sludge Bomb always KOs Megazard X, pretty much until they have maximum bulk in special defense and HP, which is pretty unlikely. I think it's fairly likely that they're just going to be clicking damage this week. The threat of Encore and Disable is way too much for Zard X to handle, but if they do, we do have that option. We could Encore them into a Dragon Dance. We can Encore and Disable after they do pretty much anything with Zard. And then we have our Tailwind and Moonblast, just to do a reasonable amount of damage and have speed control. This is my only form of speed control other than Icy Wind this week, so I've got to make use of it. And we have our Gengar. Gengar is the star of the show. Of course, Gengar does not seem to want to have Shadow Ball this week. There are 2 normal types on the team and 1 dark type, and a Corviknight that I don't want reflecting a special defense drop onto my Gengar, as well as a Sneasler that could be White Herb. So I really don't want to be giving out special defense drops for free. We are going with Giga Drain and Sludge Bomb as my main damage. Damage from Sludge Bomb is kind of crazy. It is single target. I could go Sludge Wave, but I'm not bringing Skarmory this week. Sludge Bomb is just the most powerful thing I can be clicking. It does really good damage into Charizard. This set is notably walled by Corviknight, but I'm expecting that I can probably do some Disable and Encore stuff into Corviknight this week, and deal with Corviknight using Armarouge, Dragonite, and Pikachu. Of course, we have to have Protect, because Protect keeps my my lock intact whenever I have them pinned on the field. And we have Giga Drain. Giga Drain is just a way to have some sustain and deal with the Milotic more effectively. Now I am going to open a room and get to the battle. am messaging them now. I was really busy with work this week, and I'm probably going to keep being really busy with work. So, once again, we're probably not going to be doing a whole lot of editing on these videos. I will be doing a recap of the other games in the league probably tomorrow night, or whenever people finish playing their games. I think everybody is playing in Champions this week. I could be wrong. Alright. Cutting my yap short, we are going into the battle. I have to switch off my ranked battle team. Did they give us new music? They did not give us new music. Alright. So I was correct, we do not see Scoville this week. The team that they brought is pretty much exactly what I expected to see. I probably could have brought Shadow Ball on Gengar this week, just looking at this. We don't see the Heliolisk, the Weirder, or the Absol, or Mega Scoville. Immediately, I just want to get into the Gengar lock immediately. I think Gengar makes the most sense as a lead here. And I can just bring Whimsicott, I think. Let's just get some good damage out. Then we will bring Armarouge and Dragonite. I think that this makes the most sense as a lead option. I am going to run a quick calc while I wait for the timer to click down. Let's see. 4 special attack Gengar, Mega, into Milotic. Standard lefties. We'll go like 13 spit up just to be safe. With Giga Drain. -2. Oh, that's kind of scary. Okay. We've got Vanillix and Sneasler immediately here. So we are just going to start by opening up the lock on the team and going for a Tailwind. There's a chance that they're going to just go for the Fake Out here. Like Fake Out and Blizzard. Knowing that, I kind of want to pivot out into Armarouge here. I think having speed control is too important, and I don't want to get faked out immediately and lose my Whimsicott because I don't have Protect. See the Charizard immediately. And we see the Rock Tomb from Sneasler, which is huge. That makes things a little tricky. But we do a lot to Charizard here. I'm expecting we're going to see another Rock Tomb from Sneasler into the Armarouge here. Now, I kind of want to bring in my Whimsicott here. Because my Whimsicott can take a hit. We can just deal with Charizard right now. We have Armarouge on the field. Armarouge can just click Psychic into the Charizard. We see Throat Chop. And Dragon Claw. We should live that. Oh, we live that very easily. And we removed the Charizard. Charizard has been deleted. That is no longer a problem for us. Okay, we've got Milotic here. I am really pushing my luck on this. Okay, Energy Ball is probably not going to guarantee a KO. I'm expecting to see Throat Chop. So let's go for Throat Chop and Heat Wave. Or not Throat Chop and Heat Wave, Tailwind Heat Wave. I think Tailwind Heat Wave makes the most sense as an option here. We don't want to break the Sash on Sneasler. Oh, we get the burn on Sneasler. That is a big deal for me. We double burn the Heat Wave! Oh my god. That is insane. Now, I don't really want to reveal my fake tears. Or my Giga Drain if I can help it. So we're going to bring in Gengar here. And I think this turn we're just going to Moonblast and Sludge Bomb into the Milo. I'm pretty sure, based on the damage that we got from Heat Wave, Moonblast should be pretty close to KOing. Yeah, okay. We are sitting pretty here. We do only have Dragonite in the back. And we get the Icy Wind. So even if they're Choice Scarf, they're still going to be slower than me. So I kind of want to just fake Tears and get the Giga Drain off. What have I revealed so far on my Whimsicott? I have revealed Tailwind, Moonblast. Let's reveal fake Tears here, because I'm not going to have to reveal Encore. We'll go for Giga Drain. We do see the Blizzard come out. Blizzard does pretty reasonable damage. I do believe that this is going to be the last turn of Snow. And this means that we can get in Dragonite. Now if they have Protect, they're going to use Protect here to get around my last turn Tailwind, but I expect that they're probably going to use Twice Star. So we're just going to dump the Fire Punch and the Sludge Bomb. It's Akaberry. That is interesting to see. We'll make a note of that for game 2. That is very much extreme speed range. Dragonite avoids. It's not like a super huge deal. Gengar is frozen. They do get the Gengar freeze. But this should be extreme speed range. So we are just going to extreme speed. Yeah, we got extreme speed here. And it doesn't really matter if Gengar thaws out. Extreme speed just takes the KO. We go into game 2. Okay, so what adjustment do I expect them to make? I don't think Sneasler has Fake Out. So that's something notable. Because I'm guessing that they are probably running Dire Claw, Throat Chop, Rock Slide, or Rock Tomb, and Close Combat. At least that would be what I would expect to see from them. Armarouge was obviously really good in that first game. I expect that their Focus Sash is on Sneasler as well. I do just want to lead off with Tailwind right away. And we will bring Ninetales in the back. I think not having Armarouge here is okay. Okay, we see the dog and the bird. I'm just gonna go for Tailwind right away here. Crunch into Gengar. We see their Tailwind. So that Crunch is obviously really scary, huh? But we are very physically bulky. I think we can take a Crunch from this thing even with Tough Claws. Let's see. 32, 25. Dust. 30. are 2. Oh, we should be taking that easy. So we are going to go for Giga Drain into Lycanroc. And we are going to Encore the bird. And that is fantastic damage into the dog. And let's just disable the bird this turn. And let's delete Updog with Moonblast here. Oh, they are faster than Whimsicott. That's a good note. Removing my Gengar definitely makes things easier for them. Faster than my Whimsicott is tough. But now I'm still not in a bad spot. We're just going to go for the Blizzard here. They're still Encored into Tailwind. I think Blizzard and Fake Tears into Charizard makes a lot of sense here. Now, I'm not certain a Blizzard is going to KO Charizard at this range, but I think it's going to be good enough damage with the Fake Tears that I'm not super scared. And Corviknight is not threatening at all in this board currently. It does live. And we don't get the freeze. You see Flare Blitz into Whimsicott. Whimsicott is going to hang on because I am Focus Sash. No burn, no burn, no burn, no burn, no burn. Ah, we got the... we got burned. But Charizard does go down. But now we're in a bit of a spot. Neither of us has Tailwind anymore. I'm going to play around the dog differently next time. I think I want to disable the dog immediately in Game 3 if we go to Game 3. We see the crit, we see Blizzard go off. It's not totally lost yet. I mean, obviously it looks pretty bad. But if we do get the freeze on this next Blizzard, I think we can still win. do see Citrus on the bird. And we get the Iron Head. Okay, we are going to game 3. If I got the freeze there, I think it was still winnable. But without the freeze, we are not winning ever. I would guess, based on how Lycanroc played, the Lycanroc is probably Choice Scarf. I'm gonna run back the same lead again. And I really want to have Armarouge. Armarouge is very important for dealing with the Corviknight. I think I want to bring Pikachu this time. As good as Dragonite is, Dragonite has been fairly low impact. Okay, we see Charizard and Dog immediately. I want to remove Charizard, I think. Gengar is very threatened in this position, but I haven't been going on the offense on turn 1 very often. We see Rock Slide come out. And we get the Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb is always going to KO here. We're going to click Encore into Rock Slide on this. We don't know for sure that it is Scarf. But I would rather them have to click Rock Slide than have to face the Crunch. We do see Iron Head into Caught. But we can deal with the dog this turn, and I think that's super important. So let's go for Wide Guard. Brave Bird instead of Tailwind. Since we don't see the Tailwind, I really want to click Heat Wave here. Heat Wave and Sludge Bomb. That poison is huge for me. No, I think the best play for me here is to go for Fake Out into Corviknight and just keep clicking Sludge Bomb into Vanillix. The poison does not matter so much because their Corviknight was faster than my Armarouge, which isn't super shocking. My Armarouge was very uninvested. Now we get to watch Volt Tackle go boom. No more Brave Bird. Bye-bye, Corviknight. Pikachu, my goat, taking the last hit. Okay, and I did just get confirmation that Lycanroc was scarfed. So, the Encore in that game was completely unnecessary. But that means that we are going into Week 3 2-0. Good games to my opponent. That was, it was really scary. Game 2, I was really afraid of that Lycanroc. It's terrifying. I will be back with my team recap, and then I will be back next week with my Week 3 game against the Pittsburgh Piplups.